The morning air clung to a sense of anticipation as Daniel Carter, a routine-bound student, awaited the arrival of his school bus. Today, however, the ordinary rhythm of his daily routine was disrupted. The bus, a familiar yellow beacon, rolled to a stop, and instead of the customary friendly face of Mr. Peterson, a new driver occupied the driver's seat. The atmosphere shifted subtly, and Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The replacement driver's appearance was marked by a burly figure with unkempt hair and eyes hidden behind oversized sunglasses. A discomforting unease settled within Daniel as he sensed an unfamiliar energy emanating from the man. Despite the apparent shift, his classmates seemed unperturbed, their attention absorbed by their own worlds. But for Daniel, the change was palpable. As the students boarded the bus, Daniel found himself unable to dismiss the oddity surrounding the new driver. The usual pleasantries were absent, replaced by an unsettling silence broken only by the disconcerting drumming of the man's fingers on the steering wheel. An air of restlessness clung to him, clashing with the familiar ambience of the school bus. Despite his best friend Mike's attempt to brush off Daniel's concerns as paranoia, he couldn't shake the feeling that his intuition was onto something. Trusting his instincts, Daniel settled into his regular seat, his gaze continually drawn to the mysterious driver steering their journey. The bus, once a hub of organized chaos and laughter, now carried an unsettling undercurrent. The picturesque landscape of New Hampshire blurred by as the bus followed its usual route. The rising sun bathed the small towns and thick forests in an ethereal glow, but Daniel's growing unease overshadowed the scenic beauty. The driver's erratic behavior persisted, with white-knuckled grips on the steering wheel, sudden accelerations, and abrupt brakes that sent the bus lurching forward. The jovial mood that usually filled the bus was tainted by an unsettling tension. Daniel sensed danger lurking in each movement, his young mind grappling with a growing fear that intensified with every unpredictable action. While his classmates remained blissfully unaware, engrossed in their conversations and laughter, Daniel's perception sharpened. The innocence of their banter and discussions on baseball cards and superhero movies contrasted starkly with his escalating sense of dread. As the bus journey continued, the picturesque landscape became a mere backdrop to the impending challenge that awaited Daniel on this seemingly ordinary school day. As Daniel grappled with the weight of responsibility, a palpable sense of urgency coursed through his veins. The impending danger loomed over the unsuspecting lives of his classmates. Blissfully unaware of the jeopardy that hung in the balance, a flicker of determination ignited within Daniel. He couldn't remain a passive observer. He had to take action. Refocusing on the mysterious bus driver, Daniel noted the man's distress. Sweat beads formed on his forehead, and labored breaths escaped from beneath the oversized sunglasses. Every sign screamed that something gravely wrong was unfolding, and Daniel's instincts, like a relentless beacon, urged him to act. His gaze shifted to the window, where the familiar landmarks of his daily route whizzed by: the bakery where pastries were savored after school, the playground that hosted Saturday adventures, and his father's office building. Yet, the familiarity outside contrasted sharply with the unfamiliar dread bubbling within him. In a moment of clarity, Daniel recognized that this wasn't about playing the hero, it was about doing what was right, what was necessary. He, a young boy with a keen intuition, found himself in a position to prevent a potential catastrophe. A sense of purpose surged through him as he accepted the responsibility of alerting someone, making the adults comprehend the impending danger. A knot tightened in Daniel's stomach as the familiar turn to his school flew past, and the bus barreled ahead without hesitation. The route deviated towards the freeway, a stark deviation from their routine. His heart pounded wildly, breath hitching, as the bus ventured into unfamiliar territory. The situation had evolved from an instinctual unease to a stark reality. His alarm bells ringing louder, the bus roared onto the freeway, leaving behind the comforting embrace of familiar streets. As the city's dense traffic yielded to the vast openness of the freeway, Daniel felt a cold dread wash over him. Finally, his friends took notice of the irregularities. The missed turn, the accelerated speed. Laughter morphed into worried whispers, their concern mirroring Daniel's own. Attempting to downplay the severity, Mike suggested, "Maybe he's taking a detour," but Daniel knew better. This wasn't a mere detour or an innocent mistake, this was an imminent threat. And he couldn't afford to let false reassurances cloud the reality unfolding before him. Summoning courage, Daniel reached into his bag, pulling out his phone. The familiar triple digits of 911 stared back at him. He had dialed this number during safety drills, but never in a real-life situation. His heart pounded as he pressed the green dial button, gripping the seat as the bus swerved. 9-1-1, what's your emergency? The operator's voice, calm and collected, cut through the chaos. Daniel swallowed. The gravity of the situation sinking in, taking a deep breath, he embarked on the journey from being a passive observer to an active participant in ensuring their safety. Hi, my name is Daniel Carter, he began, his voice steadying. I'm on a school bus, and I think we're in danger. The weight of those words hung heavy in the air, marking the beginning of a pivotal moment in Daniel's young life. Daniel couldn't help but exhale a sigh of relief. He had heeded his intuition and trusted it enough to seek help. No longer a passive passenger on this rogue journey, he had transformed into a beacon of hope for his friends. The terrifying reality of the situation had become vividly real, yet Daniel felt a newfound resolve coursing through him. His instincts had guided him this far, and he was prepared to see it through, ready to do whatever it took to protect his friends and himself. After all, he was not just a boy, he was a boy with an uncanny intuition. His most powerful tool. Adrenaline surged through Daniel's veins, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribcage as a cold fear washed over him. Amidst the tidal wave of fear, he discovered an island of calm, a tiny yet unwavering belief that he could alter the course of events. With a deep breath, he began to speak, describing the dire situation on the school bus, emphasizing the erratic behavior of the driver. Surprisingly steady, his voice became an oasis of calm amid a desert of panic, providing the 911 operator with their location, bus number, and a vivid picture of the unfolding danger. On the other end of the line, the operator acted swiftly, her voice carrying an edge of urgency that mirrored Daniel's fears. Assuring him that help was on the way, she instructed him to keep the line open. The response was immediate, dispatching the nearest police patrol unit to intercept the bus. The pieces were moving, and it was Daniel's courageous act that set them into motion. Back on the bus, the atmosphere crackled with tension as his classmates realized something was wrong. Dismissals turned into palpable worry. The driver's actions growing more unpredictable. Every sudden break and unexpected turn sent a jolt of fear through the students, their playful banter replaced by scared whispers. Amidst the chaos, Daniel clung to the lifeline of his phone call, relaying the calm assurances of the operator to his classmates, offering some semblance of reassurance. Outside, police sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder with each passing second. Unbeknownst to the rogue bus driver, a rescue operation was racing toward them. The police patrol, with flashing blue and red lights, closed the gap, ready to intercept the bus and defuse the potential catastrophe. With each passing second, the stakes were getting higher, but so was their chance of rescue. Daniel's call had sparked a chain reaction, his bravery paving the way for a resolution. As the sirens blared, closing the distance rapidly, the bus came to a lurching stop at a red traffic signal. Just as the driver attempted to run the light, two police vehicles swiftly barricaded the bus with tactical precision, reminiscent of action movies. The police managed to apprehend the driver, eliciting gasps from the children, their eyes wide with fear and awe. Further examination revealed that the driver was under the influence of a controlled substance, his impaired cognition posing a grave risk to the lives on board. Daniel's heart pounded as he witnessed the driver being handcuffed. The realization of the danger they had been in crashing over him like a wave. However, there was also relief, a profound sense of gratification that his actions had indeed averted a potential disaster. News of Daniel's courage spread like wildfire through the tight-knit New Hampshire community. Parents breathed a sigh of relief, grateful for the brave young boy who had saved their children from a calamitous situation. Daniel's courageous act during the school bus incident garnered widespread acclaim. School assemblies lauded his actions, and local newspapers ran his story, branding him a local hero. Despite the sudden surge of attention, Daniel remained humble, asserting that he did what anyone should do in such a situation. The incident left a profound impact on the young boy. The harrowing ordeal served as a powerful reaffirmation of his belief in his instincts. He realized that his unique gift, his intuitive nature, wasn't something to be brushed aside but acknowledged and trusted. Daniel understood that his instincts were not mere gut feelings but powerful insights that could make a real difference and even save lives. While his friends returned to their everyday routines, something had shifted for Daniel. life held a new lesson for him, a lesson of trust, of believing in oneself, and of stepping up when the situation demanded. His world expanded beyond school assignments and baseball games, venturing into the realm of intuition and responsibility. The event became a grim reminder of the unpredictable nature of life. But it was also a testament to the difference one individual's courage can make. Daniel Carter, a young schoolboy, had evolved into a hero, and, more importantly, a boy who trusted his instincts with unwavering faith. The experience had transformed him into someone who understood the weight of responsibility and the impact one person can have on the lives of many. Take a break and follow me into the next story. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, intricate shadows across the dusty lanes of Emma's impoverished neighborhood, the stark disparity between wealth and poverty manifested itself. In this world of contrasting realities, a resilient and kind-hearted girl named Emma, at the tender age of 11, became an unwitting beacon of compassion. With her dusty brown hair and freckles adorning her cheeks, Emma had just returned from her part-time job at the local bakery, embodying a spirit unbroken by the harsh realities of her life. Her bright eyes sparkled with resilience and determination, painting a vivid contrast to the challenges that surrounded her. Behind her modest house lay an alley, a labyrinth of dark corners and rusty fences that, despite its gloom, held a strange familiarity for Emma. It was here that she stumbled upon Max, a lost boy, no older than herself. His disheveled clothes and the striking blue of his fearful eyes stood out against the dank wall where he huddled, appearing as out of place as a lily in a desert. Emma, despite her own gnawing hunger, felt a rush of sympathy for him. Witnessing his distress, she decided, without a second thought, to extend a helping hand. Emma offered Max the only thing she could afford, a warm smile, a bowl of her grandmother's vegetable soup, and the comfort of her small, patchy quilt for the night. Max, born into a world of opulence, found himself utterly unfamiliar with the austere conditions of Emma's dwelling, the stark bareness of her tiny room, the barely audible groaning of worn-out furniture, and the meager stew served for dinner were a far cry from his lavish lifestyle. Yet, amidst these differences, there was a warmth in Emma's home that his colossal mansion lacked. Despite his initial apprehension, Max found himself wrapped in the hospitality of this kind-hearted girl. Emma's spirit became a beacon in his fear-stricken world. Scared as he was, Max was equally fascinated. Emma, despite her scarce resources, exuded happiness and a zest for life. In that moment, Max made a decision, not out of fear of recognition, but from an inexplicable desire to understand Emma's world better, to unravel the mystery of her unyielding spirit. As Emma went about her routine, cleaning tiny dishes with furrowed concentration and humming a soft tune, Max observed her finding joy in the little things, her spirit untarnished by hardships. It was a world away from his own, where he was pampered and sheltered, never having to lift a finger. In that humble setting, Max realized that he was about to embark on an unexpected journey of discovery, a journey that would unveil uncharted territories of kindness, simplicity, resilience, and the true essence of happiness. A strange sense of comfort enveloped Max as he recognized the soothing balm to his confused heart. Emma, in her tiny, humble home, had offered him more than a warm meal and a place to sleep. She had given him a new perspective on life, one that would soon change his world forever. As dawn painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, the heart of the modest house beat with life. Emma, an epitome of resilience, guided Max into her world. World as different from his as chalk from cheese. The day unfolded with Emma caring for her elderly grandmother, their interactions revealing a bond of love that poverty had failed to weaken. Emma delicately fed her grandmother while recounting tales from school, bringing a tender smile to the old woman's lips. Max, witnessing this heartwarming connection, felt his own heart warming at the sight. Next, they navigated through a maze of numbers and letters. With Emma's schoolwork sprawled out on a weathered wooden table, Max was taken aback by the stark contrast to his private tutoring lessons. Their tools were humble, a handful of worn-out textbooks and a notebook with pages struggling to stay bound. Yet, in this simplicity, Max began to grasp the depth of Emma's resilience and the richness of her spirit. Emma approached her studies with a determination that Max admired. Despite making mistakes and facing challenges, she never gave up. It was a struggle, but it was uniquely hers, and she embraced it with grace. As the sun ascended higher in the sky, it was time for her shift at the local bakery. Emma's small hands, carrying the lingering scent of yeast and sugar, worked diligently alongside the kind old baker. The baker, with a heart as warm as his oven, had grown fond of Emma and now welcomed Max as another assistant. Max, whose hands had never known the toil of labor, initially fumbled, however, under Emma's watchful guidance. He quickly adapted. He began to understand the weight of manual labor, the effort required to earn each penny, and the satisfaction it brought. The kids at school accepted Max not for his mansion or fancy toys but simply as Emma's friend. They played together under the sun, their laughter resonating through the narrow lanes. For the first time, Max wasn't the rich boy, he was just Max, a friend, a classmate, another child in the same playful universe. Observing Emma's life prompted a paradigm shift in Max. He witnessed a world where people loved and cared despite scarcity, where laughter and play thrived despite hardships. Max started comprehending the depth of Emma's strength and the richness of her character. The contrast was stark, but instead of repulsion, he felt drawn in, intrigued, and impressed. Beneath the glittering chandelier of his life, Max discovered a world that did not dwell on materialistic wealth but celebrated the richness of the heart. Life in Emma's shoes was no easy feat. A continuous uphill climb filled with tangible joys and sorrows. Through Emma's eyes, Max began to understand the nuances of a less fortunate life than his own. What once appeared as a poor little girl, he now realized was rich in ways he had never understood before. Each day with Emma unfolded a new lesson for Max. His former world, encased in glittering glass walls, was transforming into one textured by the rustic hues of Emma's life. From her, he learned the language of selflessness, resilience, and kindness. Words that were mere definitions in his world. Selflessness became the language Emma spoke every morning. As she prioritized her ailing grandmother's needs before her own, Max watched, marveled, and learned to envelop himself in the warmth of giving. Resilience was etched in the creases of Emma's palms as she tirelessly worked at the bakery, a testament to a spirit unyielding despite life's trials. Max, initially unfamiliar with labor, discovered joy in the process, the thrill of kneading dough, and the satisfaction of witnessing customers' smiles. Kindness was the melody that Emma hummed with every act, resonating sweet tones of comfort to the distressed, help to the needy, and smiles to the sad. Under Emma's tutelage, Max began replicating her actions, finding happiness in spreading joy. He realized that true wealth lay not in bank accounts but in actions and the goodness one could bring to the world. Through Emma, Max discovered the beauty of simple pleasures, the novelty of a home-cooked meal, the joy of shared laughter with friends, the satisfaction of hard-earned success, and the luxury found in love and friendship. He learned the value of humility, the art of contentment, and found richness in simplicity. Wealth and contentment, luxury and love, all became intertwined in Max's newfound understanding of life. Emma's world resembled a kaleidoscope, each twist revealing a different facet of life. It was a realm rich in emotions, abundant in love, and wealthy in character. Through Emma, Max was beginning to understand that life wasn't just about possessing but also about giving. It wasn't just about surviving but thriving, not just about self-care but caring for others. Max, once a wealthy boy in a glass castle, was transforming into a rich boy in the real world. Emma, with her unyielding spirit, selfless love, and kind heart, was showing Max the true meaning of wealth, one measured not in dollars and cents but in love, kindness, and contentment. In the classroom of life, Emma emerged as the best teacher Max could ever have. Meanwhile, outside Emma's humble neighborhood, the city was in an uproar. Max, the heir to the wealthy Moresby family, had disappeared, stirring the city into a frenzy. Search parties scoured every corner, helicopters hovered like distressed bees, and news channels ran continuous coverage. The Moresby family, embodying power and privilege, had their missing son become the talk of the town. The news reached Emma's neighborhood through the buzzing television at the local diner, displaying a picture of Max under the caption, "Missing." The humble room fell silent as Emma's gaze met Max's picture on the screen. Her heart sank as she made the startling connection. Max was not just a lost boy, he was the lost boy everyone was looking for. Confusion and betrayal danced in Emma's eyes as she confronted Max. She felt deceived, caught in a game she didn't even know she was playing. Max had hidden a vital part of his identity from her, a secret creating a chasm between their worlds. As Emma confronted him, Max's eyes held a strange mix of fear and relief. He explained His decision to hide his true identity. Fearing being forcibly dragged back to his golden cage, he confessed his yearning to understand Emma's life, to experience a world beyond his luxurious cocoon. Max expressed how his stay with Emma and her grandmother, his work at the bakery, and his time spent as a normal kid at school had given him a sense of happiness he'd never felt before. The rich boy who'd never known want was confessing that he'd found fulfillment in a world far removed from his own, in a humble house with an ailing grandmother and a hard-working girl. Emma's heart wavered as she heard Max's confession. She saw sincerity in his eyes, heard honesty in his voice. Yes, he had hidden his true identity, but he had also bared his true self to her, a self that was more than just the heir to a fortune. He was Max, her friend, who had learned from her, laughed with her, and grown with her. As the dust settled on their confrontation, Emma and Max found themselves standing on the cusp of their unique friendship. They had traveled a long way from their initial encounter, each learning and growing from the other. Max's confession did not change the bond they'd formed. If anything, it had only strengthened it, grounding it in newfound understanding and acceptance. Max was no longer just a rich heir, he was Emma's friend, a boy who had willingly abandoned his riches to find his true self. Emma was no longer just a poor little girl, she was the rich friend who had shown a lost boy the beauty of a simple, humble life. The Moresby family experienced a mixture of relief and surprise when they finally laid eyes on Max. He was still their boy, but a noticeable transformation was evident in his demeanor. His once curious and naive eyes now reflected a depth of understanding far beyond his years. The pristine hands that were once his hallmark bore the signs of hard work, carrying the lingering aroma of fresh dough from the bakery. His laughter, once a melody played in the comfort of luxury, now held notes of shared joy and humble living. Max's transformation stood as a testament to the profound impact Emma had on his life. Her kindness, selflessness, and resilience had left deep impressions on his young heart, shaping him into a version of himself he'd never known existed. Emma had opened Max's eyes to a world beyond his insulated existence, a world where wealth was measured not in monetary terms but in deeds and character. Though initially taken aback, the Moresby family couldn't help but respect Emma, her humble life and profound impact on their son became a lesson for them as well. Instead of viewing her through the lens of affluence, they saw her for who she truly was, a girl of strength, love, and an unyielding spirit. Their son's journey had made them realize the stark disparity between their lives and those less fortunate. However, instead of fostering resentment, this awakening led them to appreciate the valuable lessons their son had learned from Emma, inspired by Emma's selflessness and the transformative journey of Max. The Moresby family decided to use their wealth and influence to make a positive difference. Emma's neighborhood, once forgotten by the world, now received the attention it needed. Schools were improved, healthcare facilities were upgraded, and job opportunities were created. The place that had taught their son the most valuable lessons in life was now getting the recognition it deserved. The story of Emma and Max became a powerful symbol of the impact of kindness, empathy, and friendship. It demonstrated that wealth and poverty were not insurmountable barriers to the blossoming of a deep connection, and that contrasting worlds could coexist, learn from each other, and grow together. Their narrative underscored the transformative power of kindness and the indelible impact of empathy. It showcased that the rich could learn from the poor, and that privilege could be used for the betterment of those less fortunate. From being a poor little girl and a rich little boy, Emma and Max had journeyed to become symbols of change, catalysts who bridged the gap between two contrasting worlds. Their story was not just about a rich boy and a poor girl, it was the saga of two hearts beating together for change, two spirits igniting a spark of transformation, and two souls celebrating the true essence of wealth. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up so you won't miss any of our next videos. We'll be back with more stories as fast as we can.